Hey guys, welcome to George Valentino Psychics. I am so excited today to introduce a really good friend of mine and such an amazing psychic. And we all do love a bit of an American accent. Sapphire, hello, thank you for joining me. And I'm so excited to have you with me today.
Thank you. Hello. Hello, everyone. It's
Hi.
Wonderful to be here.
It's wonderful to have you. How many years have you been in the psychic world, and what is that you love doing most? Is it more mediumship? Is it more card readings? Just to give us a bit of an insight.
Professionally, I've been at it over 30 years. Half my life.
That's
and I usually work with tarot cards. You know, there's something that a lot of people are familiar with, so they're not frightening. And I find that the cards never lie. You know, the right cards come out in every reading, you know. And my purpose, my goal in reading is to empower all my clients, to help them see the good in their lives and in themselves.
That's fantastic.
We have a visitor, my cat.
Yeah, I have one here too. I'm sure he's going to come on anytime soon. That they say that cats are very spiritual. I actually believe that. Do you find that when you've done a hard reading, a difficult reading, because people, I find, Sapphire, in readings, when they have readings, they only expect good news, but I love the way how you're so direct and strong, and you give it so real without any indications. The way how you perform a reading, you don't ask questions, you just go in, boom. How does that come to you?
The only thing I can say is I let go and let God. My angels and God speak to me through the tarot cards. And it's very powerful, the connection I have with the religious and spiritual world. You know, oh.
Hey, look, snap, I have one too. Can you see him? Another friend of mine too. Well,
they do help me clear the energy. You were talking about when people, when we have a difficult reading, when people are being told things that may be difficult to hear, I'm able to clear my energy again by having a moment with a cat, for example. It really helps kind of ground me again and clear any kind of energy. You know, if there's any, you know, a little bit of negative energy that I've managed to bring away from my client.
This
because
is an ancient...
of course, that's what we're trying to do, is bring them to the positive, to the light. And that negative energy has to go somewhere.
Yes, I entirely agree. And this is an ancient Egyptian belief, as if we look at back in the pharaohs where the sphinxes were, they had big black cats. And this was due to keep away negative spirits due to a passing back in the ancient days of Egypt, and that cats, especially black cats, keep away evil spirits.
Exactly.
When you said 30 years, I have to ask you this question because I always love the answers that I hear. So what was your first experience that you realized truly you're connected to spirit world? What was that experience? Is it something you saw? Is it something you felt? Have you ever had an apparition of a spirit? Because tarot is a very advanced form of like a super Ouija board that should only be in the hands of a skilled practitioner.
Mm-hmm. Basically, George, I had 2 invisible friends when I was a little girl, when I was 5 and 6 years old. And basically, when I got to be about 8 years old, my family discouraged me from basically talking about these invisible friends. They were still with me. And I believe they were 2 angels, one of them being my great-grandmother who had died when I was 4. So I had had a connection with her. I knew her. And I believe she came to me as an angel, especially as a young child, protecting me. And so basically for a number of years in my young adulthood, I put away all that energy, that so-called paranormal baggage. And when I was 30, funnily enough, my mother gave me a set of tarot cards in my Christmas sock. It was a set of tarot cards and a book. And a few months later, having not even opened the book, the tarot cards at all, I found an ad in the local paper for a psychic network, and they needed psychic readers. I was out of work at the time, and I called and I started using my book. Now I found I didn't really need to use the book at all. I used the tarot cards. I read enough to figure out how to do a Celtic layout, and you know the difference between major and minor arcana. And I threw the book away because the answers, the meanings were coming to me. And I believe at that time it was my great-grandmother coming back into my life and guiding me through the process. And I worked as a reader for a number of years at that point, much as I'm doing now, doing telephone readings.
I don't think, personally, as a tarot reader as well, I don't think that anybody, it's like drawing. If we said, draw this house, nobody would be able to draw it the same. And it's just like a reader. The reader has to feel and, you know, be in touch with that message. And I don't, although, of course, books are good, I don't really advocate just going via a book, because then that's taking away from the spiritual element of the connection of spirit world. What do you think?
Absolutely. Like I say, I let go and let God, you know, that the spirit world brings me the meaning, and also the meaning of that the person needs to hear. You know, there's a lot of, I mean, a person is so many avenues of energy, so many avenues of interest, that we have to be able to focus in on what's really important for them at this point in their lives. And I'm able to do that if I clear my mind and just connect with my spiritual advisors.
I love that, spiritual advisors. We have to do another episode in the future on some advice from your perspective as a practitioner of over 3 decades on how you do actually in depth get rid of that energy and how you ground it. Because reading after reading, you're absolutely right. If someone's negative, you could, that energy is very easily transferable. Like I say, if you drive past a wedding, you get this transference of energy of happiness, and the same happens within a negative occasion as well, like a funeral, you'll still feel sad. And within a reading, as spiritual practitioners and readers, when we give a reading, we often do feel that energy. So I would love to do that with you one day, Sapphire, in the future, to hear how you do that.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been
I'd
fantastic.
be happy to do that, George.
It's been fantastic gaining all this insight, and I just can't get enough information from you. And I look forward to doing our episode with you in the future regarding that grounding energy. And thank you for joining me today all the way from the USA. It's always a pleasure to be speaking with you and connecting with you, Sapphire. Thank you so much for making the time for me today.
Thank you, George, and thanks to everyone out there for watching. Take care.
Thank you. You too. God bless, and we'll speak soon. Thank you.